What's going on, Cougar fans? Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, bringing you this edition of Coaches Weekly. And once again, I'm joined by the head coach of the CUC men's basketball team, Coach Rashawn Searles. Coach, welcome back to the show. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Yes, sir. Glad to be back.
Of course, and hope you had a good Thanksgiving. But during the Thanksgiving week, you guys had two big contests on your hands in non-conference play. An exhibition against UW Parkside, a Division II team, on Tuesday night. You ended up losing that one. But then you guys came back on Saturday and beat Elmhurst, who's a very talented team in the CCIW. First program win over Elmhurst ever. And kind of talk about, really that Elmhurst game, just kind of how that can be seen as a gauge for you guys. Again, Elmhurst is a good non-conference opponent. They're always solid. They beat you guys barely last year. So kind of talk about what you saw in that non-conference game and what that might say about your team moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's similar to our Texas trip. It just shows that, we can compete with the best of them. When we're playing fast and doing what we do well, I don't think it's a team that we fear. So beating Elmhurst, getting that first win was big. And I think it's big for the conference as well. For CUC specifically, over the last 4 years, we're 6-1 versus CCIW. And, since I've taken over, we're 3-1. So, I just, I like where this team's at, and we just have to keep building on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, you guys were back in conference play last night and dropped it to Wisconsin Lutheran, who, reigning NAC champions. They're one of the best teams in the area, if not the country. And, again, they're going to be there this season. Again, they're going to be towards the top of the rankings. So can you kind of talk about maybe what's still separating you guys right now, what you and the Cougars can do to kind of improve upon yourself so that you can run with those big boys like WLC? You had your bright spots last night. Obviously, they came away with it in the end. But what are still some of those separating factors that you want to see kind of narrowed down so by the end of the season you are competing with those WLCs, those St. Norberts?
Yeah, I think right now the biggest thing is just composure. Wisconsin Lutheran is a very experienced team, and they have guys that have been in some of the biggest games you can play in this conference. So they're not afraid of the moment. They're not rattled by the pressure. And I think that we have moments and spurts where we can be composed and, under control, but we're not there where we can put it together for a full 40 minutes, especially against teams that have, adequate guards, confident guards. So I think that's the point we have to get to in order to overcome the St. Norberts, the Wisconsin Lutherans. And, that was the big point to the team yesterday, is that we will play them again.
Right.
And if we were to go on and win the conference, it's going to have to be through one of those two teams. And so, I'm happy to see it early. And so we can continue to work on it. It's similar to our scrimmage when we scrimmaged St. Xavier. We're learning about ourselves. We're seeing what we need to correct, what we're good at. And I like where we're at this point in time.
Well, someone who did have a solid night last night, as he always does, was Jacob Collicott. 17 rebounds, 13 points, so 17 rebounds, a career high. And I feel like after every game, we're saying it was a new career high for Jacob, whether it be, 30, 31 points or 17 rebounds. And we talked about his ability to step into a leadership role earlier in the season, but now that he's still doing what he was doing at the start, he's still averaging over 24 points a game. What has he done on the court in terms of his play to kind of take that next step? Because he was already a really good player, but what has he been doing this year in your eyes that allows him to even get better and continuously top himself?
Yeah, I think it's just playing hard. That's something that we've never had to question with Jacob, where he's going to fly around, he's going to make plays. He naturally has great instincts, so you put him in situations where he can just make those plays, he's going to do just that. And so big kudos to him. I think that he's understood that what this team needs is for him to be able to add stats in every category. And so he's taken that, on the head and ran with it. And so I think he played well. I think the team, ultimately, we could have played better. But, Jacob getting 17 boards was big, because he's been a great rebounder. But as we get into the thick of conference, it's going to take some games.
Right.
We have to go do that. And, he also had 7 assists, I believe. So, it's just one of those things where he just makes plays. He's a good player, and we continue to build on that.
Well, to wrap up here, you guys are back home this Saturday welcoming Edgewood to CUC. It'll also be Alumni Day, so a big day for you in the program. But What do you guys need to do to get back on track in conference play now? You're sitting at 1-1. You got the home opening win against IAT, and then last night's loss to WLC. What do you need to do on Saturday to stay above 500, to get back to above 500 in conference play, I should say, against an Edgewood team who, they've always played CUC really well, at least of the last couple seasons. So what needs to happen Saturday in front of the alumni who are going to be here to come away with a nice conference win?
Yeah, I think we need to play confidently, and we need to play hard. We need to play physical. Most importantly, we need to dictate the game tempo. Edgewood does not score a lot of points. They like to play slow pace, run their offense, or we're trying to get up and down the floor. So whoever kind of controls the tempo will have the upper hand in that game. So I think we need to come out early, swinging and going fast. So, I think just dictate tempo, be physical.
Well, CUC welcoming Edgewood to CUC on Saturday. Tip-off for that game is set for 2 p.m. and coverage can be found at our website, cucougars.com. And the live stream for the game can, of course, be found on our YouTube page, CUC Sports. Coach Searles, thanks again for joining me today. And good luck with Alumni Day and Edgewood on Saturday. I look forward to talking about it when we meet next week. But until then, this is Peter Borkowski signing off of the Cougar Sports Network and wanting to say, as always, go Cougs.
Sports Network, joined by Troy Pratley, and we're here with you for some CUC men's basketball action as they take on the Eagles of Edgewood College right here in Geisman Gymnasium. And Troy, it's going to be an exciting game, a conference game here today, so a lot of tensions between these two teams looking to pick up another conference win on the year. And let's talk about these two squads, starting with the Cougars of CUC. Coming off a rough game on Wednesday, they fell to the nationally ranked Wisconsin Lutheran College, 91-67. Jacob Collicott had a nice game, 13 points, 17 rebounds. That's a career high for Collicott in the rebound category. But Troy, other than Collicott, they had double digits out of Joel Watts, Darion Williams as well. Not a ton of things went right for the Cougars in that WLC game. 3-point shooting was in the single digits, but the stat that you really picked out on was the turnover battle just was not going the way of the Cougars on Wednesday.
Yeah, the Cougars turned the ball over 24 times, 19 times, 24 points off of the turnovers for the Warriors. And so that's just a statistic that when you're giving the other team 24 points off the turnovers, that's a good chunk of points, and it's tough to overcome that. Even an aggressive squad like CUC, where they're going to get their fair amount of turnovers back, it was still too much against a good team like WLC.
Right, and remember, CUC, they have the top 3 stealers in the conference. Jacob Collicott, Joel Watts, and Darion Williams, 1, 2, and 3 in the conference rankings for steals per game. But let's focus in on Joel Watts, because we've been talking about Jacob Collicott a lot this year. He's having a fantastic season, but Joel Watts has kind of taken that responsibility as the next guy up after Collicott. Darion Williams is great as well, but for Joel Watts, I mean, he's top 5 in the conference on a couple of statistics, and he's just kind of a little spark plug for this team this season.
Yeah, and this was a Cougar squad that lost a lot of offensive production at the guard spot last year, losing Greenlee and Matthews to graduation, and so they were looking for another player to step up alongside Collicott. And so far in the young season, Joel Watts has provided that. We saw the miracle three-quarter court shot when the team was down in Texas about a week ago. And yeah, top 5 in the conference in steals and assists, and top 5 in the nation in steals alongside Collicott as well. And this is a player that is going to have to be consistent as he has so far throughout the early portions of the season to go alongside Collicott for the Cougars.
Yeah, 1 of 3 players, along with Williams and Collicott, averaging double-digit points as well. So Joel Watts, a guy to watch for in today's contest against Edgewood. But let's talk about those Eagles. They're coming off a conference win this past Wednesday. They beat 83-79. They beat Lakeland University, and for Edgewood, the stat that popped out that's kind of been the story of their season is this is a team's team, if you know what I mean. They have a lot of players who play a lot of minutes. They have 7 guys play 19-plus minutes in that Lakeland game. This is just a team. They don't really have that 1 or 2 main star player like the Cougars might have. They just play a lot of guys, a lot of minutes, and it works out for them most of the time.
Yeah, and one of those guys is Drew Hodeker, right? And he's a guy, second-team all-conference last year. But against the game against Lakeland, he actually had the 6th most points. There were 5 players that were in double digits, and Hodeker had 8. And so, like you were saying, it's a consistent team effort across the board. It was 17 points, 14 points, 13 points, 12 and 10, and then finally 8 by Hodeker. So we'll see how CUC attempts to take on that defensive challenge. You can't really pick your poison because the Eagles are content dishing it out and being consistent across the board.
Well, and to focus in on Hodeker a little bit, yes, we say this is a team's team, but Hodeker is capable of playing really good basketball himself. Second-team all-conference last year. I mean, he's just one of those guys. He's good at scoring. He's good at rebounding. Even though, again, this is a very team-focused Edgewood squad, he's still a guy you got to watch out for in the court.
Yeah, the only player that's going to be on the court today that's a returning all-conference honoree from the NAC last year, so that says enough.
Right, he's also top 5 in the conference in rebound per game, so Drew Hodeker, a threat to look out for CUC. Now, all time, the Cougars trail Edgewood 10 wins to the Eagles 20. They split the season series last year. The last game, which was here in River Forest, CUC took that one by about 20. This is also a playoff matchup a couple of years ago. CUC beat Edgewood. That was Edgewood's last playoff appearance as well, so maybe a little bit of bad blood between these two squads as well. But we got about 7 or so minutes before tip-off. Let's get your key to the game here. Cougars are looking to rebound after Wednesday's loss. What do they need to do today to pick up a conference win?
I'm looking to the turnovers, right? We talked about this already. The Cougar squad's got 2 players in the top 5 in the entire country in steals per game. But we saw kind of work against them last week against WLC, or last game out. Flip the coin to Edgewood. They've got the 2nd highest turnover to assist ratio in the conference. They're not scared of the pressure. They do a good job of keeping that. They've got the 2nd fewest turnovers as well. So I'm going to look to the steals, the turnovers. Can the Cougars be aggressive without it hurting them too much, right?
Well, as for me, I'm looking at the rebound battle between these two squads. Edgewood has the worst rebound margin in the conference. It's sitting at about -8. CUC, the rebound margin isn't great, but they do grab the 2nd most boards in the conference. So for a team like CUC who likes to play fast, who likes to push tempo, if they can also get those second chance opportunities to keep Edgewood off balance, it could turn into a really good game for the Cougars. But we're going to have to see what happens. CUC taking on Edgewood right here in Geisman Gymnasium. Troy and I will be on the call with you all afternoon, and we'll see what happens between these two NAC foes. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Cougars Sports Network.
Good afternoon and welcome inside Geisman Gymnasium as we get set for this conference match between your Concordia University Chicago Cougars and the visiting Eagles of Edgewood College. Peter Borkowski here on the Cougars Sports Network, joined of course by Troy Prattley. And Troy, we should have a good game on our hands between these two conference rivals. CUC 3-3, 1-1. Edgewood 2-4, 1-0 within conference play. Let's go through the starting lineups one more time for everybody watching at home. For the Edgewood College Eagles, it is number 1, Trey Trader, 3, Hunter Hardyman, 4, Peyton Bowser, 11, Drew Hotaker, and number 20, Danny Mulcair. Assistant coaches, Mike McMahon, Anthony Jananga Jr., Dawson Hughes, Jake Graff, Mike Schultz, and the head coach in his 13th season is Justin Meyer. And we'll get to the Cougar starters in a minute as we have tip-off here. It'll be Collicott versus Mulcair, and Collicott wins it for CUC. They're trotting out Kenton Pryor, Darian Williams, Joel Watts, Jacob Collicott, Sean Beckman. Student managers for CUC, Glenn Pollard, Shane Wick. Assistant coaches, Jimmy Fields, Bryson Butler, Kevin Dix. And head coach in his second season is Rashawn Searles as the Cougars commit a travel, and Edgewood will get started the other way.
CUC electing to be aggressive on their first offensive possession, and that's something we talked about in the pregame show. So one possession and one turnover early here for CUC. I like the action, just sped up a little bit too fast and it cost them.
Oh, now they're doing the full court press as Joel Watts comes away with the steal, hand in the cookie jar. Joel Watts up for the points, gets it.
And if you watch Joel Watts, man, he has such good body control. He's able to slide around the defender, and he's handsy, right? He reaches, but with precision, and he taps away the ball, and you'll see him do what he just did exactly right there, that move, multiple times here tonight. So effective.
Yeah, you see some defenders, they're very physical defenders. Joel Watt, like you said, he's more like a surgeon with a scalpel. He's going to get in there, get his hands in there, and come away with the steal. He gets the Cougars on the board, and a tough layup here. That one coming courtesy of Hunter Hardyman, who's probably got one of the best names we're going to see on the roster this game. Tough falling basket. CUC looking to respond. 3 from Williams is pure. Darion Williams gives the Cougars the lead back, 5-2. Darion Williams, one of 3 Cougars to average double-digit points this season, along with Watts and Jacob Collicott, as gliding his way to the basket and shanking the layup was number 11. That is Drew Hotaker. Here's a 3 from Williams. That's off the back iron. No good.
Pace is pretty high right now. We'll see if this tempo can continue to be pushed by both squads, or if it's going to settle down here shortly.
Jumper from Hardyman is no good. CUC grabs the rebound. Yeah, Coach Searles in our Coaches Weekly this week, he said whoever controls the tempo of this game is going to win it, as they play kind of dissimilar styles. CUC likes to press, they like to push. Edgewood, as we see now, they're a little slower, a little more meticulous. CUC trying to speed up the Eagles trying to slow down the Cougars. We'll see who wins that battle. Hardyman beyond the arc, feeds it to Hotaker. Hotaker over to Trader. He'll try a 3, and that's no good. CUC will slow things down now. Joel Watts, top 5 in the conference in assists per game. Yes, 5th exact as he has the ball again. Starts a drive, finds a wide open Sean Beckman in the paint, and that is about as easy 2 points as you're going to get for Sean Beckman.
Yeah, good pick and roll action there, and a nice job by Watts keeping his head up and finding him a good pass and a good finish.
We need to keep an eye on Sean Beckman this game. This is an Edgewood squad. They don't have a ton of height on their roster. They have a 6'7" player. They have a 6'5" player. But other than that, I mean, they're tall. They're 6'2", 6'3". But this is a CUC team with names like Sean Beckman, with Liam Cameron, who's currently on the bench, with some of their other taller players like Carter Langendorf, for example. If they play their cards right, they're going to get a lot of size mismatches this game. Here is Trader, guarded by Williams. Williams, 3rd in the conference in steals per game. Can't come away with one there. Trader can't come away with the basket, and I don't know who got a hand on it. It fell through the hoop. That was either Kenton Pryor or Hotaker. As Collicott, and they're going to say foul on the floor. Highlight reel play wiped off the board, but Collicott does draw the foul. First team foul we've seen today from either squad. About 3 minutes plus some change in the game. Here's a three from Williams. No good. A rebound is collected there by Peyton Bowser. Another solid name on this Edgewood squad. Good defense by Jacob Collicott. He leads the conference in steals. They get the ball away from him. Here's Watts. And now here's a three from Bowser. No good. Rebound collected by Sean Beckman.
So far, the teams combined 1 for 6 from deep. You talked about that. The CUC only shooting 6.7% last time out against WLC on Wednesday, and a couple turnovers here early for CUC as well. So the three-point shooting and the turnovers going to be a factor all night long.
Yeah, this has not been a great year for CUC from beyond the arc. 27.9% from three. That is the 10th best mark in the NAC right now. Joel Watts almost comes away with another steal. But this is a CUC team. They shot the three ball really well last season as they're trying to replicate that success, and getting a three right there to tie up the game is Danny Mulcair. Mulcair, he is second on this Edgewood squad in three-point percentage, 37% when shooting from beyond the arc. Kenton Pryor transfer to the Cougars, finds Sean Beckman, top of the key. Here's Williams, uses a screen. Going to keep driving, spins, feeds it out. Kenton Pryor now from the free throw line. That is short.
Edgewood been much better defensively over the last couple minutes here. CUC's gone a little over 2.5 minutes of game time without any points, and the Eagles have been attached at the hip, forcing tough shots by CUC.
Yeah, and I mentioned, this isn't a tall Edgewood team, but they're not short either. They have a lot of guys in that 6'2", 6'3" range who, again, they're, average size for a basketball player. So, yes, you might get some size mismatches from your height, but you're never going to really run into a small Eagle on this roster. They're all just solidly tall players, as there's a spinning basket from Sean Beckman. As I mentioned, he's one of the tallest players the Cougars got. They're going to look to him to feast in the paint.
And he's got really nice footwork down there. You saw just kind of able to maneuver around it and use the rim to protect that shot.
And whistles blow, travel called on Hotaker, and that'll give us a chance to see our first substitutions of the game. A trio of Eagles coming in. It is number 2, Trent Sauna. Number 13, that is Ace Stroke. And number 14, Matt Kirk. Meanwhile, CUC to Alice Lowry, AJ Willard, as well as Riker Johnson. A trio of freshmen entering the game to join Jacob Collicott and Sean Beckman. Here is Alice Lowry. Back out to Collicott. Collicott, nice feed to Lowry. He's going to stop, finds Riker Johnson in the corner. He'll start a drive. Bounty hops and can't get the tough finish. Nice move. Was not able to finish it off.
So we'll see if this young crew for CUC is able to provide an offensive spark. It was a quick 7 points for CUC, went stagnant in the
nice long three there from Matt Kirk. Jacob Collicott daring him to take that shot. Kirk says, don't worry, I got you, as Tails Lowry almost comes away with a good finish. Rebound is collected by Stroke. Here come the Eagles now, up by 1, 10-9. Kirk, go find Mulcair. Here's Stroke, tries to get Collicott turnaround. Three ball from Mulcair, that is too strong off the front of the rim. And they're going to say CUC will get the ball. Push on Matt Kirk. So that is how CUC will maintain possession. But looking at this trio of freshmen coming in, Riker Johnson over 10 minutes a game. You have Tayalis Lowry, he's averaging 13, and then A.J. Willard, he's 15.5 a game. So these are three freshmen who Coach Searles has been using a lot off his bench, especially Willard. You can tell he's really interested in what Willard turns into. But Tayalis Lowry, he's got some of the best handles on the team. He shows it off there. Gives the Cougars the lead right back, 11-10.
Cougars going to continue this pressure on the defensive end, this time, without Joel Watts on the floor, who provided that early steal.
Watts or Williams. Here's Mulcair in the paint and can't get it to go. Danny Mulcair's hit some pretty tough shots. He misses an easy one there as CUC looks to expand on their lead. Here's Beckman, finds Lowry. Lowry now, and there's going to be a whistle and a foul on Edgewood as Sean Beckman body to the ground. That'll be on Mulcair, and that's going to signal him to get off the court as Coach Justin Meyer will put back into the game Hotaker as well as Bowser, two of his starters, as Mulcair and Trader take a seat on the bench. Collicott the inbound, finds Lowry. Here's Johnson over to Collicott. Collicott trying to put his man in a blender. Spin move, bunny hop, shot is no good, but there is a whistle. Justin Meyer calling for a travel. Instead, it'll be a foul on Kirk, and that's going to send Jacob Collicott to the line.
He's a tough player to stay in front of. He's so explosive, but he also another player that has pretty good footwork as well, and so he likes to use a shot fake, and he uses it pretty effectively to get you up in the air and then go back after you through the contact, and that's where he draws a lot of the fouls heading to the rim.
Yeah, his body control is just insane to watch at his footwork, how he handles the ball. I mean, if you ever see him in the gym here at CUC, he's usually doing body weight, body control stuff, and you could tell it pays dividends on the court. He's averaging a double-double this season, over 24 points a game, over 10 rebounds a game, and 34 minutes of action. Only Cougar to average over 30 minutes a game. Now Willard guarding Tusana. Gets caught up in a screen, gets back, and he's going to get pushed down, and they're going to say foul on Tusana and the Eagles, or violation, I should say, no foul called. So CUC will come away with possession.
Yeah, and in Collicott, 34.7 minutes a game, that's essentially 35 minutes, which is basically not coming off the floor.
That's 5 minutes of rest
at
a
all.
game, yeah.
And as we've seen that already with him being the only player to remain on the floor in that initial substitution sequence.
Riker Johnson showing off some moves as the freshman gets the and one. Foul called on number 13. That is AC Stroke, freshman out of New Glarus, Wisconsin. As he's getting some talking points from Coach Meyer. Riker Johnson will look to finish off the three-point play here. Shot is up and nothing but net on the freebie. Cougars up by 5 now as they continue to press here. Try to trap. Now it's a 2-on-1, and A.J. Willard gets a hand in there. CUC collapses, and good defense by the Cougars, able to recover in on that on-man break. Here's Lowry now. Oh, nice spin move, but he loses the ball. Still has it. Floats it in. To Alice Lowry. Great handle there, able to recover from the drop. CUC up by 7. Takeaway. Good block there by Hardiman. Kirk trying to back down Riker Johnson, and he'll draw a foul. Matt Kirk will get sent to the line. Another sophomore on this Edgewood squad.
That was one of those examples where the pump fake by Collicott might have been effective there with Hardiman. He got up there pretty good and sent that shot almost out of bounds. Luckily, there was an Edgewood player kind of hit it right to him.
Yeah, 6'4" junior Hardiman is on a Darlington, Wisconsin. Meanwhile, at the line is Kirk. Hasn't started in a game yet this year. He's been a big off-the-bench presence for Coach Meyer. 86% free throw shooter as he sinks both shots, pulls his squad back within 5. Here's Lowry now. Lowry, Aaron Brown, Johnson, Willard, and Collicott out there. Collicott, the only remaining starter on the court right now for CUC. Here's Lowry, hard drive to the rim, lays it in. To Alice Lowry, the acceleration he has is just amazing to watch. Good drive to the rim, comes away with 2.
The acceleration is what was allowed him to make the finish, but it was the decision-making right off of the screen to deny the screen and go hard to the basket. It was very decisive, and that's what got him the basket.
Yeah, that thought process of do something within a second or two of grabbing the ball, make a pass, or go to the rim. It's when you start standing around that you run into trouble, as we're going to get a timeout here now. It'll be a full timeout charge to Edgewood. So we're going to take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network as well. And when we come back, 10:53 remaining here in the first half. CUC up 19-12 against Edgewood. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, timeout is over for Edgewood. Coach Justin Meyer, 13th season with the team as head coach. He was previously an assistant for the 11 seasons before that, and he was fired up during that timeout, wanting to get his team under control. They're not going to do anything to stop Aaron Brown on that drive. 21-12 is the score now.
CUC's made 5 of their last field goals, and the Eagles 0 of their last 4, and that's really where we've seen the separation come here. We were tied not too long ago, but Edgewood been unable to score here.
Hardyman, that's going to be short. Not a pretty-looking shot from Hunter Hardyman as Edgewood struggles to put the ball in the basket. But here's Johnson. That's going to be way short as well. So both teams trading missed threes. How about another one? This one, no good either, but rebound there by Hotaker. He gets swarmed. 4 white jerseys, puts it up, and can't get the fall. Rebound, Jacob Collicott. That's one of those, you got to kick that out if you're Hotaker. You got 4 white jerseys. Meanwhile, Riker Johnson, good shot off the glass. And it is now 23-12. This game quickly getting out of hand for the Edgewood Eagles.
Johnson's done a nice job off the bench here for CUC. He is not playing like a freshman who's in his first 7 games in a college uniform. He's really calm, and he's making the nice plays. Even that missed 3, that was an open shot that he had a good look at.
And here's a takeaway by Collicott. Accelerates. Collicott lays it in. Jacob Collicott. We always seem to see this with him. He starts a little slow. I mean, that's just his second and third points of the game. But as the game goes on, he starts to get going. By the time the second half comes around, Collicott is in full Jacob Collicott mode. And we'll see if that gets him started. Tusana can't get the fall. Rebound bopped around, and Aaron Brown comes away with it.
Yeah, you know, he's the conference leader in points per game right now with 24.3 in conference.
And he's also just about the leader in rebounds. He's second right now with 10.5. So obviously you don't want to speak way too soon, but I mean, that is Conference Player of the Year type statistics. When you're leading in points per game, 24, you're second in rebounds, could easily take over first if you have a good rest of the season. I mean, he is playing lights out so far for CUC.
So now he'll go to the bench and get his one water break.
Minute of rest
day.
maybe. Here comes Hardyman now. Hunter Hardyman, too hard off the glass. Rebound still fumbled, and last touch by A.J. Willard. So ball will go to Edgewood, who they have not scored in the last 2:15. 0 for their last 8 from the field. 1 for their last 10. Meanwhile, CUC 4 for their last 5. As things aren't going to get any easier for the Eagles. Cougars checking in Joel Watts now. 2 starters on the court for CUC, Joel Watts and Darian Williams. And Edgewood just struggling to inbound it. They find Mulcair. Mulcair size mismatch with Watts, and he still can't finish. Danny Mulcair has had some issues finishing around the rim today despite his size mismatches.
Yeah, the second or third time we've seen a ball hit the rim 3 or 4 times and just not be able to fall for the Eagles. Maybe that's something they'll get settled in on the second half.
Jumper from Aaron Brown is no good. Luckily, Willard cleans up the mess. Here comes Williams, finds Willard. Willard starts a drive, collects it, and he gets blocked by Hardyman. Ball out, last touch by Willard. Good defense by Hunter Hardyman. He's been a monster in the paint so far defensively. As he will now inbound it. You can see two of the top 3 Steelers in the conference, Watts and Williams, on the Edgewood side of the court, but Hardyman breaks away from A.J. Willard, and Willard still comes away. However, it'll be a foul and a push. Willard will get tagged with it. And look who's coming back to the substitution box. It is Jacob Collicott. He'll check back in, as well as starter Kenton Pryor, Johnson, and Willard out. So 4 of CUC's 5 starters on the court right now. Aaron Johnson, the only bench player out there.
Not quite a full minute of rest for Collicott, so we'll see if he's about 39 minutes of play today.
Danny Mulcair goes up and draws the foul. Mulcair 3 points. He's now going to be 1 for 5 from the field. Let's see what he can do here on his first pair of free throw attempts. Danny Mulcair on the season, only 1 for 2 from the free throw line. As his first shot is up and good to make it 2 for 3. As CUC will check in their final starter. They checked in Sean Beckman for Aaron Brown, but then Kenton Pryor pulled for Aaron Brown. So still just 4 of the 5 starters out there for CUC. Second shot for Mulcair, no good. 1 for 2 trip to the line. Edgewood back within 12. Watts to Williams to Brown. Top of the key is Aaron Brown. Handoff to Joel Watts. Bounces it. Sean Beckman now. Handoff to Darian Williams. Williams penetrates, and he's going to kick it back out to Brown. Now Brown will start. Spin move. Stops. Puts up a shot, and no good. Rebound is collected finally by Edgewood. Joel Watts almost coming away with the steal. Trap here from CUC, and they're going to say that stepping out of bounds was the Eagle Bowser. Good trap there from Williams and Watts. Just 2 pests on defense for CUC.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be. You've got, the half-court line that you can't cross and then go back. The sideline right there. So really the ideal place to trap, defensively for that press, and kind of got him stuck right there exactly where you wanted him.
Yeah, Bowser had nowhere to go. Out of bounds, over and back, or into 2 of the top 3 Steelers in the conference. And now a violation called on Aaron Brown. So Edgewood will get the ball back. CUC not able to capitalize on the Peyton Bowser turnover. Hardyman finds Bowser, guarded by Joel Watts, and now a whistle as Joel Watts going to get tagged with a no-no. Looked like a little extra energy coming from Peyton Bowser, maybe trying to get a little comeuppance against Joel Watts. And CUC will check in the tallest player on either team now. Liam Cameron, the 7-footer out of California, checks in, matches up on Mulcair. As Joel Watts still sticking, as here's Mulcair at 3, no good. Rebound collected by Joel Watts. Here he comes now. Watts will, by Jacob Collicott, slows it down. Finds Williams, who finds Watts. Beckman to Watts to Cameron, top of the key. Not where you typically see the 7-footer as he hands it off to Watts. Watts now at the free throw line, starts his drive, stops, spins, finds Cameron, who not able to collect it in time, has to do something else with it. Watts, 3-ball from the corner, too strong, and Beckman not able to get a shot off in time. Watts' corner 3 did not touch the rim, and CUC gets beat on the shot clock violation.
Yeah, a tough offensive set there by CUC, but maybe just better defensive effort. It seemed that the ISO with Joel Watts was covered. They did a good job on Liam Cameron. It's kind of tough to guard a 7-footer, but he really didn't have any good position down there, and it forced a tough shot, contested corner 3 with about 4 seconds left on the shot clock.
And foul on the floor committed against Matt Kirk. It'll be on Collicott. For Collicott, that was personal foul number 1. And, you know, that's been one of the strongest points of improvement I think we've seen from Collicott over the last couple seasons for the senior, which is that, you know, he's cleaned up the personal fouls. I think he got into trouble a lot the last couple seasons just because of how energetic he is. But this season, he's really done a good job of limiting those personal fouls, which is allowing him to play that 35 minutes a game. See what he could do here. Off the glass. No good. Cameron can't get the rebound. Ball still on the ground before scooping it up. It was Tusana thanks to a pass from Kirk. Here's Tusana now.
Yeah, and these guys know defensively, right? When they've played a few minutes and heading near the end of the first half, you know, if they don't have a foul yet, you can kind of be a little bit more aggressive because typically 2 fouls in the first half, you're getting pulled for the rest of the first half. So if you don't have any, it's coming late down in this first half, maybe that's a time that you can take a chance, and we saw that with Watson and Collicott getting his first foul as well.
Williams, top of the key, stopped at the free throw line, shoots it and sinks it. Darian Williams, nice stop and shot as CUC up by 14 now, just over 5 minutes to play here in the first half. Here's Tusana, guarded by Joel Watts. Good size match here between the two. Yeah. Tusana will feed it over, and now pair of 14's going at it, and Kirk and Collicott. Here's Tusana again. Tries to feed, and now a foul. Hotaker got it in the paint, and it will be one shot coming up for him. Sean Beckman getting charged with the foul. Again, Edgewood is in the bonus, as that is personal foul number 8 now. Been in the bonus for a minute, so that'll send Hotaker to the line. Hotaker shot is up and is good, so gonna make one. You'll get another one here in the single bonus. Shot is up and is good again. So 12-point lead now for Edgewood. It was previously CUC's biggest lead, 27-14. Excuse me, yeah, 27-13 was their biggest lead, pardon me. And here is Williams. Gets a man up in the air, and he'll move it now to Collicott. Back to Williams. Started by Tusana, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Here is Collicott again. Tries to put his man in the blender, however, has to kick it out. Williams, a long 3. Yes, sir! Darian Williams. Could have been a 4-point play. Referee does not give him the call, but he will take a 3. CUC, biggest lead of the night now, 15 points. And here is a whistle. CUC wanted to travel on Kirk. Instead, Williams will get tagged with the foul for Williams. That is his first personal foul as well.
Yeah, once Kirk started to break away on the dribble there, it was Riker Johnson and Williams kind of flung their arms out there to try and tip the ball away before the travel occurred. Now, interesting, you know, for the Eagles, these free throws are kind of keeping them in the game. They're over their last 13. They haven't had a field goal in almost 10 minutes.
Yeah, currently shooting 17% from the field. They're shooting better from the three-point line. They're 20% from 3, 17% from the field, 78% from the free throw line. 7 of their 17 points have come from the charity stripe. Here is Beckman now, finds Watts, puts a man in motion, and now a whistle as Tusana holding up Jacob Collicott.
Yeah, it's a tough foul. That's one you'd like to see him let him play. I mean, a little bit of contact there, but not sure it really restricted Collicott's action to the rim.
Here is Beckman now. Bounce pass to Collicott. Collicott, he's going to try and take it himself. Spins, and now a whistle as Collicott commits an illegal move.
They called him for 3 seconds.
3 seconds. So CUC will have to go on defense now. Under 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Only one timeout has been called all game so far.
You don't see a lot of 3-second violations on guards in the paint. That's not usually a place that they're too familiar spending a lot of time at.
So we do have a timeout here, and it will be a 30-second timeout. So we're going to keep it here on the Cougar Sports Network. And I mean, I got to imagine, Troy, that Coach Myers just doing everything he can to get his team a field goal. Because right now, 0 for their last 13, 1 for their last 15, no field goals in 9.5 minutes of action. I mean, it's not that CUC, they are shooting well, 48% from the field, but this would be a closer game if Edgewood, it's not even that they're not getting good looks. We've seen Danny Mulcair especially, they get close to the basket. They're just not getting these shots to fall.
Yeah, we'll see if something, with a timeout like that, you grab the whiteboard and maybe be able to draw something up here, especially out of the, CUC's coming with the press here. Draw something up here to try and break the press, a back pick or something, and see if you can get an easy one here just to kind of grab some momentum before the half.
I was going to say, you just need to break that streak. Once you break that streak, who knows what will happen, but right now you're shooting 0 for the last 13. As Susana, he throws it out of bounds. He's seeing ghosts out there. So CUC will get possession back. Not what Coach Justin Meyer wanted to see out of his squad, as they are trying to break a field goal drought of what's going to be 10 minutes after the CUC possession. Here's Williams, finds Watts. Joel Watts, top of the key. Finds Johnson now at the wing, finds Collicott. Collicott starts to drive. Collicott floats it, no good. Big rebound by Sean Beckman. Joel Watts from the corner. He puts up a jumper, and that's no good either. Kirk comes away with the board as CUC up by 13 here. Here's Tusana.
And really the Eagles are fortunate that CUC's turned it over a fair amount as well, and only 44% from the field, which is, allowing them to hang with the Cougars defensively.
And there is the streak buster from Hotaker. First field goal in over 10.5 minutes of action for Edgewood. They're back within 11. That's, that says a lot about your squad, that you go almost 11 minutes without scoring a field goal, and you're still within an 11-point game. I mean, it's not that it's particularly close right now, but this could be way worse, especially considering you're not hitting anything. As here is Collicott, 3 seconds. He's got to put something up, and he does. It beat the clock, but couldn't sink through the rim. 2:10 to go here in the first half.
We've seen that a few times now, really, in the last couple minutes. The Cougars kind of scrambling to get even somewhat of a look off as the shot clock expires.
Williams to Beckman. Corner 3 for Beckman. No good. And rebound is going to be a foul during it. As Drew Hotaker, Collicott went up for it. He got bumped. Luckily, he came down okay. As for Hotaker, that'll be personal foul number 1 for the reigning second-team All-MAC member. 6 points, 4 rebounds for Hotaker. Matt Kirk leads Edgewood with 7 points right now. How about this? No Eagle has an assist on the game. 0 assists total for Edgewood, as they're shooting 5 for 26 from the field. 2 for 11 from 3. They're having just about as much luck hitting threes as they are hitting field goals right now. Second freebie from Collicott falls. So you see up by 13 now. So 1:52 to go here. Cougars put Liam Cameron back into the match. Make sure Edgewood doesn't come away with anything cheeky down in the paint. Here is Tusana. Guarded by Lowry. Gets some separation. A long 3 now. Sinks it. Nothing but net. Good move by Tusana. Gets some separation. Puts up the 3 and hits it. Edgewood back within 10 now.
And you can kind of feel the energy. The bench gets back into it, and the defensive pressure has been good all game, but especially right now. And a missed shot and a basket going the other way could go a long way for this Eagles squad.
Turnaround shot from Cameron, too strong on it. As here comes Edgewood. They got some numbers. Hotaker off the rim. It's good. And now Coach Searles will call a timeout as this is back down to a single-digit game. It'll be a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep it here again. And I mean, you look at this box score, Troy. I mean, CUC shooting 41% from the field, Edgewood 25. Edgewood goes almost 11 minutes without a field goal made. And yet we're looking at an 8-point game here with 1:07 left to go. I mean, an 8-point lead is nice, but when you go 11 minutes without laying up a field goal, I think you expect to be up a little bit more than just 8.
Yeah, I mean, it's because they've continued to turn the ball over. They've got 6 of them so far in this half, which isn't horrible. 6 turnovers, if you average that, that's 12 in a game. That's actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. But 2 of their last 13 from the field. And so when you talk about going on a stretch like that, even if you can make half of those baskets and be even 6 of 13, you're talking about 8 or 10, 12 points that are in your favor now. And instead of an 8-point lead, you're talking about an 18 or 20-point lead.
Right.
But because the defensive pressure was still pretty good by Edgewood, CUC struggled really to get open looks.
Riker Johnson in the paint, can't get the fall. Rebound, another rebound. Johnson coming down with it, and we'll have to see what the whistle is on. I believe it'll go on Edgewood as Riker Johnson sets up for a free throw, maybe 2, as Drew Hotaker gets charged with the foul. Yeah, I mean, Edgewood coming into this game, 62.8 points a game. That is the second lowest mark in the conference, but they're only allowing 69.7. That is the 4th best defense in the conference from points per game standard. So this is a team who, as Coach Searles kind of talked about in our Coaches Weekly, they are a slower team. They don't score a lot. They don't let up a lot of points at the same time, however. And they've done a good job ever since CUC really started to pull away here earlier in the half when they built up that double-digit lead, that 13-point lead. Edgewood's done a good job of slowing things down and starting to play their game. They just need their shots to fall now. Here's Riker Johnson. That is no good. Riker Johnson, let's just say if you were close to the court, you could tell that he was out of position by his, let's just say, exclaims on the court. CUC holds the ball about 3 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock. Joel Watts is going to hold it. CUC wants to get the last shot, or just about the last shot here. Joel Watts now starts it, feeds it. A.J. Willard's shot is up, and it's good! 3-pointer for the freshman. CUC back up by 11. Here's a chance from Mulcair. That one's no good. And thanks to an A.J. Willard 3 at the end of the half, CUC back up by 11. 37-26 is the score. As we'll have to see if we'll get a halftime interview. We will. It'll be Eric Perry along with assistant coach of the Cougars, Jimmy Field. So we're going to get that set up, but after that, we'll head to halftime break. CUC, they kind of went cold here at the end of the half, Troy, but they're able to come back into it. All right, so Eric Perry's ready to go. We're going to send it down to him now. Eric, tell us what you got as you're interviewing assistant coach Jimmy Fields.
Thanks for joining me. I'm Eric Perry. This is Coach Fields, assistant coach for Concordia. Coach, defensively, the team's been playing really good. There was a 10-minute period where Edgewood didn't make a single field goal. However, Concordia ended the half on a bit of a rough streak, 3 for their last 15 shots. How do you plan to correct that going into halftime in the second half?
Keep our ball moving strong, make sure that we're moving it well, and instill confidence in our guys. We've been in this position before, not making shots, so it's just a matter of stepping up, getting your feet underneath you, and shooting with confidence.
And you've been hitting free throws better than you have all season. You're hitting 85% tonight when you're at 65% on the season. Do you plan to keep attacking the paint in order to put up some shots and make them fight you on them?
Oh, absolutely. And we've been practicing a lot with free throws, too. That's been something that we do every day. So that's been a focus for us. And obviously tagging the glass and getting in downhill, that's going to work for us in the second half.
Coach, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you. Peter and Troy, back to you guys.
Well, thanks, Eric Perry, for the halftime interview. Thanks to Coach Jimmy Fields as well. See what him and the coaches of the Cougars cook up during the halftime break. We'll be back here in about 13 and a half minutes for second half action. Cougars leading the Eagles 37-26. We'll be right back here on the Cougar Sports Network.
What's going on, Cougar fans? Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, bringing you this edition of Coaches Weekly. And once
Hey, I'm Monica here at Concordia University Chicago, and we're here outside of Concordia Hall.
Concordia Hall is the university's newest residence hall, right on the edge of campus, perfect for students who want to explore the nearby downtown of Oak Park and River Forest. The flexible suite-style living in fully furnished bedrooms lets students choose what works best for them. Every floor is complete with a community lounge and full common kitchen, with a kitchenette, microwave, sink, and refrigerator. The first floor offers the Victory Lounge, connecting to 2 additional residence halls, with no shortage of ways to relax. You're also right next to an open, outdoor plaza, better known as Victory Lane.
So now we're here in Concordia Hall's suite-style dorm room, and this is a really nice place to just hang out and chill. And since it's so big, there's plenty of room to spread out and do your homework and just relax. So now making our way into one of the bedrooms, there's plenty of space in this room for you and your roommate. A lot of times students will move the desks so that they've got their separate study space, but my roommate and I, we get along really well, so we can just work together here in the same space. Sometimes I like doing art as well, as you can see by the painting here. It's a 16 by 10 feet space, and most rooms on campus are 10 by 12 feet. So it's really nice to have a little extra space to work with here in Concordia Hall. So this hall is super close to the chapel and the Kennedy Community Center, which has the new Crossroads Dining Hall, so the location is super convenient. And I really love the city scene too. The location here is the closest on campus to the Oak Park River Forest downtown area, which has a ton of great stores and restaurants. Speaking of the city scene, I adore the view from this lounge because you can see the Chicago skyline right there.
Concordia Hall at Concordia University Chicago.
CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces, a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Peter Borkowski here, joined by Troy Pratley. CUC taking on the Edgewood Eagles here in the Geisman Gymnasium. They currently hold a 37-26 lead over their NAC opponents. And, you know, despite CUC being up by 11, Troy, it really felt like a tale of two halves. You know, towards the middle of the half, really, it felt like all CUC. Edgewood went almost 11 minutes without a field goal. CUC was shooting well. They're still shooting well, 41% from the field. That's not a terrible mark. It's not great either, but then by the end of the half, I mean, it got a lot closer than it had any right to be when Edgewood goes almost 11 minutes without scoring a field goal. They were down by just 8, if not for an A.J. Willard last-second 3 before halftime. And I think what we really saw by the end of the half, and Coach Searles, again, talked about this last Coaches Weekly, is CUC started to play Edgewood's way. And Edgewood, even though they're still down by 11 now, they started to capitalize on that kind of slower pace of play.
Yeah, they really controlled the defensive end, and they weren't allowing quick and open shots by CUC, and that's where the Cougars would love to live. But because they were so stagnant on the offensive end, and there weren't open looks early in the shot clock, they were forced to really take up most of the shot clock, which slows the pace naturally. But what also happened was then CUC was forced to take contested shots with just a few seconds left on the shot clock, and just kind of heaving it up there in hopes that it hits the rim for a second chance opportunity. And so, you know, if you're the Cougars, you're really hoping that this full court press can come out and create turnovers and be aggressive. You know, Edgewood makes a basket, take it out and push it up the floor, swing it a few times via the pass instead of the dribble, and see if you can continue to push the pace forward and create some easy looks early in the shot clock, because that's really what the Cougars want to do.
Yeah, and CUC, they are killing the Eagles in the paint. 20 paint points for CUC, just 10 for the Eagles. So this is CUC team, like we said, when they get in the paint, when they get those close shots, which usually came early in the shot clock because they were pushing it, they really were succeeding because of that. As we said, though, as the game went on, Edgewood slowed it down. CUC got late in the shot clock, had to take some tough shots, and those just were not falling. CUC was almost shooting at 50% at one point in that first half. They've sunk down to 41%, 14 for 34 from the field, at 3 for 9 from beyond the arc. Both teams have hit about the same amount of free throws, 6 on 7 for CUC, 7 on 9 for the Eagles. And this should be an exciting 20 minutes of basketball here to wrap up the game. It may look like a good CUC lead at 11, but Edgewood looked like they were starting to piece things together at the end of the first half. See if they can keep this momentum going for CUC, or if the Cougs can win their second straight game against Edgewood dating back to last season. Again, Edgewood, last time they were in the playoffs was 2022, and they lost right here on this court, or the last Geisman court, I should say. It's been redone since then.
A few times.
Yeah. The version 1.0 of Geisman, I think we're in like 3-point-something since 2022 itself. Anyways, they lost that playoff game right here in River Forest, and you can just tell that these games mean a little bit more to these squads ever since then, even as the players start to age out who were in that game. I believe it's just the senior class right now who played in that playoff game. Guys like Jacob Collicott for CUC. He has the ball right now, starts a baseline drive. Thought about shooting it, instead passes. Here's a 3 from Beckman, sinks it. Sean Beckman hits a 3. CUC closed out last half with the 3. They open this half with 1. And Beckman, you know, Troy, he's done a really good job this season of being kind of that stretch big for CUC. He is one of the team's better three-point shooters. He's their best field goal shooter, 54.1%. As Coach Searles likes to use him a little bit more in the 3-ball game.
Yeah, and for somebody that stands at 6'8", he's got one of the purest shots for a big man.
Here comes Joel Watts now behind the back pass, but it's picked off. Trying to get a little too fancy there. As here comes Hardyman, finds Mulcair. Trader bounces, passes. CUC, they've wanted a couple travels on this possession. They get nothing. Instead, it'll be a basket for Hotaker, as Coach Searles saying some words to the referee on the way by, wanting him to look out for those travels. Beckman drives, runs into Mulcair. Good size matchup here. Spin move and no good. Rebound. Nice bat out by Kenton Pryor. Here comes Joel Watts now. Watts to Beckman. He'll try another three. That's liquid. Sean Beckman feeling the hot sauce right now as CUC up 43-28. And now a foul is going to be called on Joel Watts as Edgewood going with the hockey line change here. 5 in, 5 out. Coach Meyer does not like what he's been seeing out of his starting 5 this half.
And I think that's what it is. Just trying to switch things up, see if these guys on the bench can provide a spark. And, you know, a couple new faces that we haven't even seen. Well, one new face, I guess.
No, two. Isaiah Hughbanks is into the game, as well as Caleb Walter, 24 and 38 respectively. So, yeah, Coach Meyer trying some new looks out here as here goes Tusana. Can't get the tough layup. CUC comes away with it. Trying to build on this momentum they have right now. Starting lineup is back out for CUC. That ball almost battered away. Here's Joel Watts. Ooh, the defense was off guard there. Here's Sean Beckman again. No good. Heat check there for Beckman, but Joel Watts gets the board. Watts feeds it. Beckman lays it up. No good. A rebound and no good. Foul now. Aggressive drives from Joel Watts and Sean Beckman. Transfers to CUC last season. And because of their combined effort, they're going to send Sean Beckman to the line. And then it'll be a full timeout now. So that means we're going to have a chance to hear from Eric Perry, our sideline reporter. Eric, what do you got for us just about 2.5 minutes into this first half?
The story of this half so far, even though we're not even 3 minutes in, has been Concordia knocking down back-to-back threes. Sean Beckman hit 2, and for a team that usually hits only about 27-28% on the season from deep, they're hitting roughly 45% so far this game. And if they can keep those threes falling, then they should be pretty good to go. Peter and Troy, back to you guys.
Eric for the sideline update. Yeah, CUC, they've come out explosive in the second half, and I feel like we see this a lot, Troy, out of this Cougars squad. I mean, you hear the term second half team, and I don't want to say that because they played good first halves, but it's really that second half where they always find a way to top themselves. Either they're playing okay in the first half, they play great, they play good in the second half, or they're playing good in the first half and they come out firing, looking great in the second. It looks like it's going to be that second option so far here today.
Yeah, it could be part of it, Peter. You look at the starting 5 and you're like, oh, this is an old group for CUC. Well, then you go and see who the first few guys off the bench, and they're all freshmen. And so that could be part of it is those younger guys early in their careers just trying to figure out, how fast the college game is. And so, the second half comes around, they're a little more settled into the game and allows CUC to play better and be deeper down the bench as the game goes on.
Good play here as Edgewood keeps it moving, and one opportunity here for Caleb Walter. As good job by the Edgewood squad to keep that ball moving forward. That is Edgewood's first shot and only shot of the freebie line is good from Walter. They're back within 15. Now a whistle as there's an issue with the clock. Justin Meyer trying to get his team fired up. They know if they want to come away with one here in Geisman, they kind of need to start it now. Down by 15, 16 and a half to go here. Here comes Jacob Collicott. Collicott, the bank is open. Collicott deposits 2 points as Edgewood starting to play with a little speed now. Here's Walter. Finds Tusana, almost loses it. CUC able to catch up. Tusana trying to put the moves on Collicott. 3-ball from Walter is no good. Takes a couple bounces, and now here's a rebound and a bucket for Isaiah Eubanks, the sophomore out of Omro, Wisconsin. As Edgewood trying to settle into a groove here in the second half after a disastrous opening couple minutes. Here is Williams now. Stops, shot, good. Darion Williams gets CUC to the 50-point mark as Edgewood's starting to push the pace here. Didn't really see that out of them in that first half. Now they're starting to move the ball a little quicker. So first half we kind of saw them try to get the Cougars to play their game. This half it looks like they're trying to play the Cougars game.
Yeah, it could be, the fresh bodies coming in when they elected for the hockey change that, coach says, hey, guys, this is your chance. Go give me everything you got for the next few minutes. And, a couple guys that hadn't played that whole first half, eager to kind of get in the game and prove that they can play significant minutes throughout the rest of the season.
Successful trip to the line for Edgewood. 15-point lead once again for CUC. 50-35. Here is Watts. Guarded by Tusana. Finds Williams. Here's Collicott, top of the key, guarded by Kirk. Collicott spins. His arm is caught up, and that'll draw a foul. See that one a mile away.
I don't know how that shot went in.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you see it?
No, I was focused on the foul. Oh, my goodness.
He's falling backwards.
I mean, it won't count. It was a foul on the floor, but
some serious spin.
That's one of those, almost if it was a football game, Coach Searles might decide to decline the penalty.
Yeah.
Say, nah, we'll take the shot.
Jeez.
Oh, wow. See,
that's a good idea. We should implement that.
Implement that into the basketball. Decline the penalty. Decline the foul, pardon me.
When they called a foul on the floor, but he continues for a shot.
Nah, we'll take it. Don't worry. It's like when you get a free play in football and it converts. Oh, well, we'll have to talk to the commission about that one. As Tusana loses it. Ball up and a nice floater from AC Stroke. As Sean Beckman away from everyone, he lays it in. Coach Searles wants a foul on that, but no good. So Edgewood, kind of the opposite of what we saw last half. They slowed it down. They played good defense, but really couldn't find a groove on offense. Now this half, they're speeding up. They're finding a groove offensively, but they're lacking defensively now. It's kind of pick your poison. What do you want to do with this CUC squad? Do you want to match them and struggle to play defense, or do you want to try and stop them but struggle to score? Foul on Joel Watts. That'll be number 3 for Watts. Shot up for Eubanks is no good. Some help from the CUC crowd on that missed free throw.
There's a few dozen student athletes here for CUC in attendance. Actually, not a bad crowd for a Saturday afternoon.
Well, it helps. It is Alumni Day.
Yep.
The second to left section of the bleachers that the camera's facing filled mostly with alumni, especially in that front row. You see some recent names who have filled this roster, some older names who were on this roster a number of years ago. So good to see some former Cougs coming back to support their alma mater, their old squad. See if they can find a victory here to watch, as their current squad is in control of this one. Here comes Tusana. Tough drive, too much on the layup. Here come the Cougs now. Darian Williams speeds up, instead kicks it out. Jacob Collicott wide open 3. Yes, sir. Jacob Collicott. Not a three-point shooter, but when you give him an open shot, he is going to sink it. Danny Mulcair, he'll try his hand, can't answer. Rebound by Stroke. Ball batted around, and Collicott comes away with it. Collicott with some speed. Finds Kenton Pryor. Pryor now Euro step, and a block is going to be called on Hotaker as he's on the ground. Looks a little beaten up. Now is helped up by one black jersey, one white jersey. That's a hard drive from Kenton Pryor. Kenton Pryor, who stands at 6'4", 180. He is not a small dude by any means. So that was a hard hit by Hotaker. Luckily for Pryor, did not have his feet set, and Pryor will have a chance to go 2 for 2 at the line now. Second shot from Pryor is no good. Able to come away with 1 point on the freebie trip, but this is still an 18-point lead now for CUC as the starters have entered back in for Edgewood. Trey Trader for Mulcair. Mulcair gets bumped by Collicott. That'll be a foul. So Coach Meyer puts in the secondary unit, and they get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a boost, and now he's, after that ran out, decides to put the bench unit, the starters back in, see if they can get their team back in this one.
Yeah, that bench unit provided a decent spark for a couple minutes, but
just ran out of juice.
Yeah, wore him out a little bit.
Here comes Hardiman, runs into Riker Johnson, and will draw the foul on it. A much more foul-heavy half we have here so far, at least at the first part of the half. That'll be team foul number 6 for CUC. Edgewood, meanwhile, they're at 3. First shot from Hardiman is good. It's going to be a 2-shot foul anyways.
And, you know, that's big for Edgewood when you're struggling to make shots, knowing that they're already at 6 fouls, so, you know, you're going to get to the bonus here.
Right.
You're going to get there with...
Ooh. Oh, my. Danny Mulcair maybe letting out a little frustration. Almost took out Charlie T there with the block.
And our cameras.
So I don't know if Charlie T gets hazard pay, but you might want to look into that after Mulcair almost took his head off. But, yeah, that is a good point about the free throw line of you're struggling to hit shots, but you're in the bonus now. You're going to be in the double bonus within a couple of fouls here. Just start going to the rim and at least get those free shots, because that's the one spot that Edgewood has been doing good at this game, shooting-wise, is the free throw line. 12 for 16, 75%. If they can just keep getting to the line, yeah, you're not going to make up large distances doing that, but you're going to at least stay at the same deficit. And Cougars maybe talking the referee into a travel call there. I believe it was a travel, but referee did not look ready to call it until Coach Searles, let's say, politely asked for it.
I think the other thing with free throws, too, it allows you to climb back in the game without taking any time off the clock, right? I mean, you're getting points.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, no, Aaron Brown's got that look on his face like, what did I do? But when you lay a guy out on the court, that's going to get called.
I wasn't looking directly at it, but it was either a really good flop, or it looks like Aaron Brown's got a future as a defensive end, maybe.
I mean, Aaron Brown is a big player, 6'5", 215. And that's, you know, if he updated his weight for this season as well, being a sophomore, he might have just kept what was there as a freshman. He is a big dude. He's a strong dude, too. And, yeah, maybe a little sell on Hardiman's part, but that was just a solid shot from Aaron Brown. I do like the what did I do face after it. Like, sorry, dude, but when your guy's on his back on the ground, I don't think you're going to get away with that one. See if Edgewood can capitalize. Hotaker finds his teammate Bowser on the other half of the court. Here comes Trader now. Trader guarded closely by Willard. Here's Bowser, feeds it inside. Hotaker, spin move, trying to find a way up, and he does. Able to spin around Riker Johnson. Johnson not able to stay in between him and the rim.
Yeah, he was in good defensive position initially, but good footwork again. And, you know, once you're kind of behind him, you either have to reach across the top and, you know, you're almost guaranteed a foul there, or you just have to go straight up and hope that your defense can come over and help from the other side.
Well, and the way that Edgewood's been shooting, especially at the rim today, those shots are not guaranteed for the Eagles. They've struggled when they are right under the rim. which a big reason they're struggling in this game in general. Not only are they missing those hard shots, they're not hitting the easy ones either. Let's see what they can do here now. Danny Mulcair trying to get away from some CUC hands. He does. Bowser back to Mulcair into the corner for Hotaker. He's got 12 points on the afternoon as he tries to work around Beckman, and now a foul called. Referees getting a little more call happy this half. I'm going to say a block on Sean Beckman. I think he might have slightly pushed Hotaker out of bounds, and that's what channeled that call. Drew Hotaker gets point number 13, has a chance for number 14 here. Also leads the team in rebounds with 6. Has a chance to make this a 13-point game, and he does. So Edgewood almost down by 20 at one point, back within 13. CUC run into a little trouble here halfway point of the half. Beckman one-on-one with Mulcair, instead decides to find Lowry. Lowry, oh my goodness, spin move through the air. And to Alice Lowry, and now here's a pickoff. A.J. Willard lays it in. 4 points in just a couple of seconds for CUC as they're back up by 17.
And this is the tempo that we've really been looking for. It's the way that CUC likes to play and steal points like that. A couple tough finishes.
And a tough finish at the other end for Hardiman as Edgewood able to break the trap. Here's to Alice Lowry. You know Edgewood is locked in on what he does now. As he has shown, he's got some serious handles, especially through the air. Riker Johnson to Sean Beckman. Sean Beckman, no good. And a rebound by Hardiman.
Beckman only one rebound away from a double-double. He's got 13 and 9 as we sit right now with about 10 minutes to go.
Here is Bowser. Bowser, tough shot, a floater, gets his own miss, puts it up, and draws a foul. As that'll send Peyton Bowser to the line now. Yeah, you look at Sean Beckman's, stats on the season. 18.5 minutes played per game. He's averaging only 4 rebounds a game and 8 points. I mean, he has got the archetype to be a double-double machine for CUC. He's tall, so he can grab those boards, and he's a decent shooter for a big man, too, so he should be able to rack up the points. And even though he's a really nice cog in this machine for Coach Throwers, you feel like there's still another level he can take, so he can consistently get those, those 10 points, 10 rebounds, those 12 points, 10 rebounds, whatever it may be, just get those double-doubles over and over again. It feels like if he can kind of unlock that, which with his body type he should be able to, he could be a really, really good piece on this starting lineup for CUC, an even better piece than he already is.
Yeah, and you talk about just the minutes coming in, only playing 18 and a half. He's already played 20 so far here this afternoon, and part of that is because Liam Cameron is normally just shy of 10 minutes, and right now he's only played 3. And so with about 10 minutes to go in this game, it looks like Sean Beckman is going to, play significantly more minutes than he has, at least so far, average on the year.
And the thing about the system that Coach Throwers is playing, the quick, the getting steals, the full court press, that doesn't really lend itself to taller players, but it does to shorter players like Joel Watts off the glass, came away with the steal and the 2 points. Joel Watts, a points off a turnover machine in his own right as CUC trapping Bowser. Edgewood, they got to get it over half. And Joel Watts, another steal. Watts off the glass again. Willard rebound. Willard blocked by Hardiman from behind. CUC not able to capitalize on that turnover.
Hardiman's had a few of those in transition and keeping CUC off the boards in the transition with a couple nice blocks.
Trey Trader can't get that shot to fall. Collincott with the rebound. Yeah, 2 official blocks accredited to Hardiman. Here's a 3 from Willard, and let's forget that one as Sean Beckman grabs the miss. Willard airball in that attempt. Yeah, on the season, Hardiman 5 total blocks coming in today. That is second most on the team. Sean Beckman, he airballs that one as CUC having trouble finding the rim.
It's windy in here, Peter. It's windy.
Yeah, I think someone just open up the outside doors. Gust of wind. Going the other way, of course, as those air balls were going in different directions.
It switched up.
You know, that Chicago weather, never know, man.
My whole family in Michigan's got snow. They've had snow for a week, and we don't have anything here, Peter.
No, we got snow. We got a light dusting a couple nights ago, I believe. And last week, there's an okay amount going into Thanksgiving break, but other than that, today's been really nice. About mid-40s, sun shining, which is a lot better than the 20-degree weather we've had the last couple days.
Yeah, Thursday was brutal.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a chilly one. As we get closer and closer to Christmas break here at CUC, finals week will start on Monday, and then winter graduation on Friday. Saturday, official start of winter break. And that weird kind of 2-week period between Thanksgiving break and winter break here at CUC. As men's basketball, they're not taking a winter break themselves. They'll be in action next Saturday, December 14th against St. Norbert. A week after that, they'll be at North Central on the 21st. 10 days after that, they'll be at Concordia, Wisconsin on the 31st. So this CUC team, they do not take many breaks as Sean Beckman cleans up the Williams miss.
And there's his double-double.
Double-double for Sean Beckman, playing well in front of the home crowd, in front of the alumni. And here's a feed. Matt Kirk for 3, no good. Jacob Collicott the board, and CUC looks like they're starting to pull away a lot here. They can make it a 20-point game here with Talis Lowry. Lowry, and he gets eaten up by AC Stroke. Stroke ahead to Matt Kirk. Kirk trying to go up, and Jacob Collicott got a piece of it on the way down. I think Kirk thought he beat him. Jacob Collicott said, no, 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 not so fast. And here's Williams for 3, and nothing but net on the wrong side of the net. As it'll be Edgewood ball on that air ball. Or no rim ball, I guess we should say.
Is that back-to-back-to-back air balls from deep?
It might be. I don't know if they had any makes or balls hit the rim in between then. So you see still able to be up by 18, however, despite the lack of three-point shooting. As Jacob Collicott comes away with the steal, leaves it ahead, and Talis Lowry not able to speed up for it. Matt Kirk able to clean up the errant pass. Here he comes now. Into the corner. Here's a 3. That's off the back of the iron. That attempt from Trey Krybeck. First time we've said his name tonight, as Coach Myers might start getting some new faces out there for his squad, as with under 7 minutes, this one quickly getting out of reach for Edgewood. Here comes Willard. Stops. Collicott shot is no good. Hey, hit the rim at least. Improvement is what we're all about. As he comes away with the steal almost, it goes out of bounds. Edgewood will maintain possession.
He's got 4 steals. So that's just about his average on the year.
I mean, that's the amazing thing about Collicott is he's only scored 10 points, which, you know, is a good game, but by I mean, that's less than half of what he's usually scoring a game. But as Coach Searles says, you know, it's about how he fills up the rest of the stat sheet. Yes, he's got 10 points, but he's also got 8 rebounds. He's got 5 assists. He's got, you know, a block, 4 steals. Like, Collicott isn't just a point man. He's not just a rebound man. He does literally everything for this team. As here's a shot from Tusana. That's no good. A rebound collected by Johnson. Pushes it ahead. Jacob Collicott loses the ball, and he'll have to slow things down. Nice pass inside, and Liam Cameron goes up. Will draw a foul. Can't hit the shot, however. Foul is on Walter. Here is the first free throw from Liam Cameron, no good off the front of the iron. Liam Cameron on the season. I mean, into today, 4 for 9 from the free throw line. Now 4 for 10. Make that 5 for 11. Tusana. Guarded by Willard. Bounce pass to Kayla, but Walters back to Tusana. Tusana loses it, and it's going to go out of bounds.
That's Edgewood's 14th turnover now.
And CUC, off those turnovers, 12 points, which isn't a ton, but you know, they're also getting possession back. They're being able to eat some clock up. As Cameron going to work on Walter. Cameron can't get it to fall.
It's been that rim for both teams.
Yeah, might have to do a regulation check on it when this game's over. Make sure it is a perfect circle.
Could just be the thickness of the iron, maybe.
Maybe a little bent. Who knows? When you got Jacob Collicott dunking every practice, I'm sure these rims have taken a solid beating. This rim, however, has been pretty consistent as Matt Kirk able to hit that shot.
Yeah, I was thinking coming into the game between Collicott, who seemingly puts one down every game. Beckman can put him down, and you got the 7-footer, who certainly can. A dunk at any point in the game would seem like a virtual lock. But,
yeah, I mean,
not a real fast break opportunity for any of those guys tonight.
I think the line is at 0.5 right now as A.J. Willard behind the back layup. It'll go. Everything's going right now for CUC seemingly. As Edgewood pushing tempo. Here's Krybeck over Walter. Nice catch to save it. What do he do now? Finds Krybeck. 3-ball is good. Nothing but net for Krybeck. Gets his team back within 16. Watts uses the Willard screen, and ooh, nice reverse. Can't get it to go, however. Here comes Matt Kirk now. Kirk runs into a couple white jerseys. Riker Johnson able to get a tip as Joel Watts will take a trip up the bleachers. Getting his steps in.
It's kind of right at that point for the Cougars where you're not quite sure you want to sub everybody out yet. You know.
Well, and right now he's putting in 2 more of his starters. The only starter not on the court right now is Kenton Pryor. As instead it's Riker Johnson, the lone bench player. But yeah, I mean, we're under 5 minutes to go. You're up by 16. As here's a shot from Bowser. It's no good. You figure if you hit that 20-point mark, you might feel more comfortable with getting some new looks out there.
Yeah, I imagine that's the mark to get to at this point in the game.
That or let the clock wind down a little more.
3 minutes to go, maybe you take a timeout and get those guys in.
Well, that'll help Riker Johnson. It's a nice jumper. It's an 18-point lead. And Johnson comes away. Here comes Jacob Collicott. Could this be something? Oh, good defense by Bowser. He deflects it. It'll go out of bounds. It'll stay white ball, but good defense. Peyton Bowser. That's one of those, if you've done your scouting report, you're just thinking, don't go on a poster. Don't go on a poster. And he did a good job getting low and knocking that ball out of bounds. CC will have to set up their offense now. Here is Williams. Williams finds Beckman. Back to Williams. Over to Johnson. Now it is Watts on the other wing. Collicott for Williams. Johnson, a lot of ball movement here from CUC. No real action inside. See if Johnson can start something now. Spins, fade away, and that'll miss everything as Joel Watts saves it out of bounds and throws it off the foot of Tusana.
So we're going to put 1 second
I was going to say, the shot clock did go out. Yep, it'll be 1 second. Heads-up play there from Joel Watts, falling out of bounds after collecting the rebound. And able to nail Tusana. I think Tusana tried to play a little dodgeball and get out of the way, but just couldn't move that right foot.
Gotta have your best tip play here, I imagine.
Shot from Beckman is good. 1 second's all you need.
I stand corrected. How about a Sean Beckman 3 instead?
How about a catch and shoot? Well, you need, the NBA rule, and I learned this recently, is you need 0.3 seconds to get off a shot, a catch and shoot. So 1 second, I know it doesn't seem a lot to maybe an average person, but that is an eternity for a basketball player. And Sean Beckman showed why. Nice catch, nice release. Kind of like a one-timer in hockey almost. So CUC up by 21 now. Now your eyes look to the bench, see who might take off their warm-up shirts. Get a chance here in the final 3.5 minutes of action. Joel Watts over to Collicott. Johnson now behind the back pass. Here is Beckman, no good. Sean Beckman, that would have been his 4th 3. Instead, he's going to sit at 3. As here's Trey Trader, floats it, and good. And a charge is going to be called. Sean Beckman doing a little bit of everything. Draws the charge, wipes the basket, and with 3 minutes to go, it'll maintain a 21-point lead for CUC.
Yeah, when you go in for the floater like that and you leave your feet, you're kind of leaving it up to chance on whether or not the defender is going to be set in place. And that time, that's a senior move by Beckman. He had his feet planted and didn't elect to go for the shot contest, but rather just wait for the contact.
Yeah, once you see them leave your feet, just set your feet. They're not changing direction on you. Quickly set your feet and just hope they bump into you. And you can do a little bit of selling, too. You're going to get that call 9 times out of 10. CUC trapping Eubanks here, and someone will commit a foul now. It'll be Johnson or Williams. It'll be Johnson. Tapped Eubanks on the face. As Coach Sturles has a pair of subs ready to go, A.J. Willard and Aaron Brown standing at the table. First shot up from Eubanks is good. Would not have mattered if it missed. Edgewood is in the double bonus. CUC sitting at 12 team fouls as Collicott, Johnson, and Beckman and Watts will check out. Lowry, Cameron, Willard, Brown out there now. Darion Williams, the lone starter remaining, as here we get a timeout. See, it'll be a full timeout, and that means we are going to send it now down to Eric Perry, our sideline reporter. Eric, CUC coming away with this one. What do you got for us?
Thanks, guys. The story of this half has been pretty much Edgewood tried to play their game in the first half, and they were down 11 at halftime. So in this half, they decided to play Concordia's game and speed up the pace, but as you can see based off the scoreboard, it has not worked. The 11-point Concordia lead at halftime has now grown to a 21-point lead with a little over 2.5 minutes left here today. So Edgewood tried to prove that they could run with Concordia, and in the end, they just were not successful. Peter and Troy, back to you guys.
Well, thanks to Eric Perry for the sideline report. 2.5 minutes and 3 seconds remain here in regulation and in the game, unless Edgewood pulls 21 points out of nowhere in the 2:33 we have left. Those 5 players I mentioned on the court for CUC remain out there following the full timeout from Coach Justin Meyer and Edgewood. Lowry, Brown, Williams, Cameron, and Willard. Willard with it now. Brown over to Williams. Now here's Lowry. Brown. Cameron was open in the paint. CUC wasn't looking there, however. Here comes Willard now. Finds Lowry over to Williams. He feeds Liam Cameron down low. Good defense by Eubanks getting low on Cameron. Cameron just has to dish it. That was a high pass. 1 second. Lowry gets it up in time. It hits the rim, but getting the rebound is Edgewood. They cannot grab it. Stonehands there from the Eagles, not able to collect the rebound. And with less than 2 minutes to go here, CUC will maintain possession.
One thing I was thinking about, Peter, in terms of the crowd being a decent size today, is that Edgewood's entire roster is either from Illinois or Wisconsin. So on a Saturday, you know, that's a fairly close proximity to be able to drive and watch a game.
Yeah, there's a good crowd to the left of us here at the broadcasting table. That is mostly an Edgewood crowd, as Liam Cameron not able to get the close finish. 90 seconds remaining here in the second half, pardon me, as Edgewood just trying to make this one a little respectable. Hugh Banks a 3, he gets it to go. Back within a 20-point game, but time very much an enemy of Edgewood right now. Here comes Lowry for Willard. Brown finds Lowry again. Lowry stops, spins, feeds Cameron. He stops, foot in the paint. Now let's try and go. Baseline, he stepped out.
Tough look. They're trying to get the big man some points, a couple looks here in the closing minutes, but really unable to find the bottom of the net.
1 point for Liam Cameron. It was on a free throw. He is 0 for 3 from the field. Here it is. Stroke 3-ball from Walter. That's good, as Edgewood starting to find a shooting touch here, but a little too late, as Darian Williams, the lone starter for CUC out there right now, he's going to slow things down. About 8 seconds separating game clock and shot clock, as it is eerily quiet here in Geisman for some reason. CUC less than 20 seconds away from a conference win, as the cheer team will now try to get some noise moving. Cheer team on the right, the dance team on the left of your screen, of the opposite baselines. CUC ran out the shot clock, and they're going to let Edgewood take the last possession here with 8.9 seconds to go. Hugh Banks, he's going to push. Edgewood trying to get something off here. He's going to go to the rim and lays it up. No good, and a clock-beating shot, but it does nothing for Edgewood other than make it a little more of a respectable score. But CUC this Saturday afternoon still comes away with the 74-61 win over the Edgewood Eagles. Good game all around from CUC. Let's look at the box score. Field goal percentage, CUC winning that category 41 to 33%. CUC taking 71 field goals attempts this game. It's a crazy amount. 3-point wise, CUC 7 for 20, 35%. Edgewood 6 for 22, 27%. And free throw percentage, 73% for Edgewood, 69% for the Cougs. Turnovers, Edgewood committed 17. CUC only 11. Good improvement in that mark from Wednesday night. Rebound, CUC winning that battle 41-33. I mentioned Edgewood was at a -8 differential coming to the game. It sits right about there this game as well. 5 blocks for Edgewood, 2 for CUC. 9 steals for CUC, 2 for Edgewood, and CUC doubling up on Edgewood in the assist category, 14-7. In terms of our game leaders, Sean Beckman leading the way for CUC, 18 points and 12 rebounds. Both of those lead the teams for a double-double, as Joel Watts coming away with 5 assists to lead all players. On the Edgewood side, Drew Hotaker led the team in points with 14 and rebounds with 6. And Trent Tusana leading the way assist-wise with 2. But Troy, CUC, they will improve to 4-3, 2-1 now, while Edgewood, they fall to 2-5, 1-1. But let's get your final thoughts on a big conference win here for the Cougs.
Yeah, it is a big conference win because, you know, you move to 2-1 in conference, and you know you're going to have to travel. Now, luckily for CUC, they got the tough one out of the way, playing WLC in that the NAC opener on Wednesday. But, you know, their next game is going to be against St. Norbert, who's 3-0 in NAC play right now. So it doesn't necessarily get easier. And so when you're able to take a victory away from a team who you should beat, right? I mean, and CUC's had Edgewood's number the last few years. And so on paper, this should have been a CUC victory, and they played certainly well enough to take that today. And so it does go a long way towards the conference standings. And, in a sport like basketball, with the top 8 being able to make the tournament, we saw last year with CUC finishing just 500 but making the conference tournament. And so, these games, it's such a small margin of those teams that finish 6, 7, 8, or the teams that don't make it at that 9 and 10th spot. In games like this, in the beginning of December, go a long way in deciding who gets those last few spots.
Right. You need to pick up those games that you're supposed to win. CUC did so here against a team who was picked lower than them in the preseason poll. Took care of business. Do want to give a shout out to everyone making this Cougar Sports Network production possible. We had Sasha Gonzalez floating around taking videos. Our camera people for the day was Luciana Moran Cruz and Emily Lucero. Our producers were Ashley Schroll and Jessica Gang. Tyler Dorsch working the scoreboard at the table. We had Dave Dimeling helping out with statting. City Pulaski-Slaher, former assistant SID at CUC, making another return to Geisman to work the stat book. And then we're under the direction of our graduate assistant, Sydney Lloyd, our assistant sports information director, Corey Welch, and our sports information director, Kale McLeod. And Troy, we had a little ceremony at halftime. This is our final call on the Cougar Sports Network. So I don't know if you have any words you want to share really quick, but kind of surreal moment to come to an end here.
Yeah, you've been doing this a little bit longer than I have. Just a couple years, about 2 years for me on the call between soccer, lacrosse, baseball, softball, men's and women's volleyball, and then men's and women's basketball as well. So, it's been a blast. It's not something that I ever thought I may do, but I've totally enjoyed being able to be on the call with the Cougar Sports Network and Girl Power Productions.
That's right.
A good shout to GPP. Blessed for this opportunity to represent CUC and roll Cougs, Peter.
Yeah, it's been an adventure this last 3.5 years, I think, to put it lightly. Good moments, bad moments for CUC athletics, but I don't think either of us would have it any other way coming into you're going to be student teaching in Michigan next semester. I'm going to be wrapping up school next week, so different paths, but still kind of same end here as we get to see the Cougars win one more time. Of course, I want to say thanks to everybody who made this whole journey possible, all the directors, assistants, grad assistants, student workers we've had. We wouldn't be here without you guys, so one more heartfelt thanks to everybody who's made this last 3.5 years a good 3.5 years here in the Cougar Sports Network. But don't go anywhere just yet. We do have a post-game interview coming up. Joel Watts is kind of ruining the momentum of the closing a little bit. We got to go back to Joel Watts, but we're going to be happy to talk to number 13 as him and the Cougars coming away with a 74-61 win over the Edgewood Eagles, pick up another conference win. They will be back in action next Saturday, December 14th at St. Norbert College. A good test there at 1 p.m. Coverage can be found at our website, cucougars.com. But again, don't go anywhere just yet. Post-game interview with Joel Watts coming up shortly.
What's going on, Cougar fans? Peter Borkowski back here on the Cougar Sports Network, and I'm joined by senior member of CUC men's basketball, Joel Wantz. Joel, congrats on the big win over Edgewood, and I kind of want to talk about, you guys kind of had to ride a couple of waves there, right? You had Edgewood had a field goal list route in that first half. You guys kind of went on a drought on your own. Just talk about your team's ability to always kind of fight through, you know, when things are going well for you guys, when things aren't going so well for you guys. Just talk about your ability to kind of persist through all those ups and downs of this game.
Yeah, that's been our mentality organically from the ground up, from working in the summer to doing the concession stands to morning workouts, like everything. That's just been our mentality. We know that we're going to have a battle. We got to bring a battle. We're going to be a team that plays first half, second half, the whole game. We're going to try to make it happen. So we know everything's going to be a battle and that we battle test and we're ready for it.
Well, and for you yourself, kind of quiet day in the point column, but you made up for it. You had 5 assists. That was tied for the team lead. You had a couple of steals, of course. Talk about kind of your mentality in the game of, you know, being able to do a little bit of everything for this team.
Yeah, I know that, you know, I put the work in every day before practice, after practice, as well as my teammates. I know some days it'll be mine, some days it'll be theirs, and I'm perfectly fine with that. It's a mentality that everybody eats. You know, we're a family. It's like Thanksgiving. As a family, everybody eats. You don't wait until everybody's there. When everybody's there, that's when you eat. So that's just how we live by it. That's how I like to live by it. I like to make sure everybody's involved. You know.
And to wrap up here, Joel, you guys got about a week off, and then you're traveling to St. Norbert next Saturday. That's going to be a really big test against a team who knocked you guys out of the playoffs last year. So kind of talk about moving forward over this next week, heading to that St. Norbert team. What do you guys need to do on the practice court, off the court, in the weight room, whatever it may be, just to be ready to take on one of the better teams in the conference?
A big thing that we've been preaching and a couple messages that we've been seeing from, like, you know, life, just stand in the moment. Just making sure that we stand in the moment, enjoying everything day by day, putting it together. And then we know St. Norbert, they're a really good team. Like you said, they knocked us out the playoffs last year. So that's edge for us returners as well as us the freshmen. They know, you know, we're going to make sure that they know that this is a big game. We got to lock in when it's practice, film, weight room, doing the scout, everything. We just going to make sure that we're ready. And then we're going to go in there, all we got is us. So that's our mentality.
Well, CUC knocking off Edgewood today, 74-61. They'll be back in action next Saturday when they take on the Green Knights of St. Norbert College at 1 p.m. Coverage for the game can, of course, be found at our website, cucougars.com. Well, thanks for joining me here, and congrats on the win over Edgewood. Good luck next week against St. Norbert.
Appreciate it.
But for one final time, this is Peter Borkowski signing off for the Cougar Sports Network, and wanting to say, as always, go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.